All right, everyone, good evening. It is 6 o'clock and it is time to get our town board meeting underway. I would like to start out by having the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Also, I'd like to have a moment of silence, but I'd like to dedicate this moment of silence to people we lost very recently in the town. Former Supervisor Judy Boyke and Highway Department Ron Reardon and Al Hogan. They were employees of the town as well, so I'd like to include them in our moment of silence. Thank you. Right. We'd like to welcome everyone here to the meeting and all the folks watching at home. There are exits directly up to our left, straight ahead, and to our right. Please make sure that all cell phones are silenced for the duration of the meeting. All right. Comments. I'd like to start out quickly by saying that we have an event coming up this weekend on Saturday, which is our little attempt to clean up the town. And that's going to be Earth Day. And I'm asking Tracy to come up and tell us a little bit about the Earth Day festivities for this weekend.
It is our annual Earth Day cleanup we've been doing since 2001, and we've had a wonderful turnout and participation through the years. And we just would like everybody to, take your time, clean up your neighborhood, clean up things. We will be around to pick up everything. I looked at Saturday's weather. It doesn't look that great. So if you have another day that looks more promising to clean up, we greatly appreciate anything that you can do to clean up the town of Cicero. Of course, safety is the main concern. We have vests and gloves, and you just have to make sure that you, use the proper safety in doing all of that. And we're going to be meeting Saturday, April 25th at 8:30 to 12 at the Cicero Highway Garage. Usually it's just the town of Cicero do that, but anybody can pick up their area and bring their trash to the Highway Department Friday or Saturday. It is welcome to do that because we have to work together to clean up our community to make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We'll clean the town up and try to save the earth a little bit one step at a time. Supervisor Saturday will be in Earth Day this year, or this week, a month rather. We're not going to be doing that this month because of Supervisor Saturday. And so we're all set on that. All right. I'd like to move ahead to public input pertaining to items on tonight's agendas. We have up to 3 minutes per speaker. Would anyone like to approach and have comments? Seeing no comment. Oh, go ahead. Come on up. State your name and your comments.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Mike Folsom, 7107 Lake Mist. Appreciate the opportunity. So I'm here tonight. The Parks Department is a key piece to this town and has long played a role in the livelihood of the people of this community. I had the honor and privilege of knowing Jody Rogers, who really helped to make this Parks Department as strong as it is. I'm the chair of the commission that's kind of been non-existent for some time, and we're working to reorganize and become a organizational asset to our director so that we can help move this department forward. There's a number of things that we believe are important, not only to the director and his role and the staff in their roles, but also to the community as a whole. And with things happening in this community, like the growth in Micron coming into town, it's only now an opportunity to really give focus to what could or should be done moving over the next 5 to 10 years. There's a lot that could be done to help us grow with the rest of the community as a whole. We have people that will be coming to our community that need assets for their families, and this is a great asset that we have here already. The one thing I do want to say is The agenda items that are there, the hours that are going to be looked at tonight. This is something that's been ongoing, dating back to the former supervisor.
All right, I'm
That's
sorry.
fine.
We're gonna, do you mind
You're good.
making the comments in the
I'm not
public
worried
hearing
about it.
part?
You know what the agenda item is. I just want to see that it's addressed.
Yeah, well, you can make the
Okay.
comments, just come on up and
Okay.
speak when we ask for those things,
Sounds
because
good.
it's a hearing.
But either way.
Thank you, Counselor.
We have a great director in place, and I think the decision that was made is a good one. And he's going to help lead us down the road in the direction we need to go. So thank you.
Thank you. Any additional members of the audience like to comment on any agenda item that's not related to a hearing? Okay, thank you very much. We'll close this portion of the agenda for comments and move on.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving abstract number 15 of 2026 dated 4/15/2026 and abstract number 16 dated 4/22/2026.
Do we have a second? I will second. Do we have board comments on this item?
The one comment I have, and I'm sure it's just a clerical oversight that took place when the budget was prepared, but on abstract 16, there's a cost there for $2,020 for the town code book updates to the same code book line. However, at least according to the budget online, nothing was ever budgeted to that budget line. So there's $0 there right now. So just as a formality, at some point, we'll have to do a budget mod or whatever to cover it, but.
Okay, thank you. Any additional comments on the abstracts? All right, I will call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
I'll abstain.
One abstention, motion is adopted.
Motion to approve a budget transfer from account code 001-1989-4000-0000, General Fund A contingency, to budget account code 001-1670-4000-0000, postage meter, in the amount of $10,000. This is to cover the additional expenses related to purchasing a new mail machine.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, board comments on this item?
This is exactly what we had discussed, that we needed to transfer some money over. This is coming out of our contingency account. We haven't spent anything out of that account yet this year, so this is about half of, it looks like, what's in that account. But again, what Mr. Freeman put together, I think saves the town a great deal of money overall. And so I think this is a good thing to spend a little bit of contingency money on.
It's also going to be needed very soon. The old mail machine had all sorts of issues today.
Okay.
It's leaking the red ink. It's shut itself
like
down
bleeding.
like 4 times today. It's definitely time.
Okay. Thank you.
When I came in this morning to get coffee, I looked and there were 4 employees of the town battling over a cartridge trying to get it back in, and it was just ridiculous. So this is very timely. Additional comments? I'm calling for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Motion to appropriate $915,900 of highway fund unassigned fund balance, account code 003-0000-0917-0000, to budget code 035-5112-4750-0000, capital paving contracted, for additional paving projects around Circle Drive, Hogan Drive, Frontage Road, and Lakeshore Road.
Second.
Discussion, please.
I think this is it's coming up later, but since we're moving the balance now, I think it's a good idea to talk a little bit about what this is for and just to kind of lay out my understanding of things. So we have about $1.1 million already in the budget for road work, which is going to be part of the later discussion. So this is to add another 900,000 to that for a couple additional projects. Mr. Woznicka, would you be willing to just speak of what these extra projects are?
Yeah, these are really two major main roads in the town. They're well over 20 years old that we paved, and both of them are in pretty bad shape. Time to start investing in the infrastructure. This will add another almost 5 miles of road to the road we're doing this year. It's gonna be contracted out by this old vendor who's gonna do everything. Haul material, pave it, and mill it. So it'll be Seneca Stone under county contract.
Okay, excellent. And then this is coming out of the highway fund balance. So just so I understand a little bit more, this is highway money only that's unappropriated at this point. So it's basically their savings account.
Correct.
Correct.
It's, we had about $2.2 million over the years that have been just saved up in the highway fund. Comes out to be just about half of our highway budget for the year. And instead of the additional cost of interest and issuance costs for bonding out a big project like that, we think it just makes sense to just use that money that we already have.
Okay. I think that's, I just
Fully
wanted to
agree.
get
Yep.
that out.
Thank you. Additional comments on this? Our roads are in a constant state of winter. So, these things have to be done and we have to pay for them. So, all right, any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion is adopted. Okay. At this point, we're now going to continue our public hearing on the park hours. So I will read the motion and then we're going to start the public hearing as soon as I read this. Move for the adoption of the proposed action to adopt local law number 2 of 2026 to approve an amendment to chapter 152 of the town code relating to setting park hours for all parks to be 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. It is an unlisted action for the purpose of Cicero compliance. Proposed action will not have a negative effect on the environment and does not require the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. Decision made, proposed changes of the public hearing regarding park hours would be moving for an adoption of a resolution to consider an amendment to Chapter 152 of Town Code relating to setting park hours for all parks as follows. Seasonal park operating hours. All parks will operate under seasonal hours during the peak season, defined as the period from Memorial Day through Labor Day. The peak season hours, all parks will be open from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Non-peak season hours outside of the peak season, park hours shall remain as currently established, opening 1/2 hour before dawn and closing 1/2 hour before dusk. Law enforcement has the discretion in determining when and how to enforce these operating hours in accordance with applicable laws and circumstances to be known as Local Number 2 of 2026. Okay, at this point, I'd like to open the hearing at 6:14 p.m. to see who would like to speak for or against this particular item.
Mike Folsom, 7107 Lake Mist. Speaking for this change, we have, again, got a growing community, and we have great assets in our parks. And ensuring that everyone remains safe and our assets remain safe as well is important. Since the introduction of the splash pad at Williams, that park alone has become quite the destination for a number of not only members of our community, but others. And that's the beauty of the splash pad. We've now got an asset that we can share with others. However, there's been numerous times, especially last summer alone, where there were instances of rude behavior, damage to the park in terms of, use of our grills for bonfires, people smoking marijuana, loud music. So we have to be neighborly as well. We do have a number of neighbors there on Lake Shore that are nearby. By instituting these hours, it should not have any impact on any of our users. The use of a park is typically during daylight hours, and that is usually when the right purpose of the park is done. So I would ask that we we vote in favor of this change, especially during our summer hours, to ensure that we keep our parks safe. We keep our staff that's on hand safe during the hours that they're there, but also make it so that they don't have to worry about what happens in our parks after they leave. And I would ask that we lean on our local law enforcement to ensure that our parks remain maintained in the hours that they're not being used. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak for or against?
You just turned it off.
Oh, there we go. Green button. Christine Scalay, 8842 New Country Drive. Just want to speak in favor of or for this recommendation that our Parks Department really needs to maintain the safety and the quality of our facilities. Enabling the law enforcement to be able to come and enforce our rules will be extremely helpful, especially when we're trying to close up in the evening. So wanted to speak in favor of that and support our park staff. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else speaking for or against? All right, this time I'd like to solicit comments from the board.
So I spent 9 days and I traveled through 3 different states and made 71 stops. And most of those were at parks. And I paid a lot of attention, and they were all either sunrise to sunset or dusk to dawn, were the time frames. So, I mean, in that 1,200 miles, I didn't see anything going after dark. I know that a lot of the residents in that area have had issues with activities, including even way past that, knocking on their door, pounding on their door, circling their houses. I believe that there's some other activities going on in those parking lots, specifically down on the lake shore. And to me, if we extend these hours past that, the sunrise to sunset, we're opening the window where if one of the chief's officers are driving by and they see some activity happening at, say, it sunsets at 6 o'clock, and there's some activity happening there at 8 o'clock, they don't really have the authority, to pull in there and just say, hey, what's going on? Where if the park is closed, they can pull in there and see what's going on. And I know, I believe on this will the Williams Beach be staffed till 9 o'clock?
Yes.
But the other parks won't.
No, that's the only
Right.
park we have attendance at.
Yeah. So, I mean, now you got potential for kids there after dark with no staffing, and that's a concern to me. And we already previously made the statement that we really were going to kind of just make the law, but not, or the hours, but not actually enforce it. So I don't see the point of it. That's my opinion on it.
All right, I happen to like the idea because one of the things that our Parks Department did is when this was initially shot down the first time, came back with an alternative time of having it during peak season. So I think it's a decent compromise, and I'm very much in favor of it. Additional comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Chief, just wanted to ask you a question. What is this new time change? What does this give you and your team?
Well, looking at Memorial Day to Labor Day, the sun will probably still be up, at 9 o'clock at night at Labor Day or be getting close. Memorial Day, I'm assuming that it'll be close to 9 o'clock, maybe not 9 o'clock yet. So, just as long as it's within the hours, it gives us, if the neighbors call or we have a car rolling by and we see a car in there, it gives us probable cause to go in there. And because typically they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing when the park is closed because everybody else is gone. It's pretty close, the seasonal hours. I don't think it's going to affect us too much personally.
Okay.
So I have a few thoughts on this proposed law. First off, one of the things that I had stated in the previous version of this is that the way it was written and the way it is still written hard codes times into the local law thereby making it more difficult for the board to make adjustments to it in the future, should they be necessary. It has to go through this whole process again. We have to have a public hearing. It can't be just modified for whatever reason by a simple resolution of the board. My second issue is, we talk about removing the ambiguity, yet half of the year we're continuing to keep the ambiguity. So it doesn't really solve that problem. It does during a period of time, but still leaves a lot of ambiguity on the other portions. And then the other piece is kind of to the chief's point. I mean, doesn't change a whole lot in the non-peak season hours. But I mean, right here in the local law, it talks about law enforcement has the discretion in determining when and how to enforce these hours. So that's how it is now. The law enforcement has the discretion to enforce as it feels is necessary and sees fit. So I don't feel like this gives any additional powers or strengths to the police department to enforce this. I still think it contains ambiguity. I see that again, that it's not ideally written because it is hard coded. And then to follow up with Mr. Pardee's point, it was mentioned that people can still access the park. It's just not officially open. So then why are we doing this? If we're just going to allow people to be there until discretion decides to enforce something. So I don't see that there's a point to this.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear that no matter what the hours are, or if it's daylight or not, or dark out, if residents call for the police for suspicious activity or suspicious vehicle, we're coming. So, the
Exactly.
hours, we're coming, it could be 9:05 or 8:55, and they see something that's going on that's suspicious. We still want them calling just because the hours are the hours.
Right.
They need to call us.
Yeah, just because you don't need this to enforce the law and address issues. So it's superfluous.
That's the key of our highlight of our season. That's the one we have the most issues in the park. So that's why we're trying to address those issues.
That's where I like to take this conversation a little bit, right? There's must have been, and if we could open up the public hearing again, it would be to hear from the public again. There must be specific, I know that the long email you sent, but I would have loved to hear specific issues that are going on at the park, right? Everyone is roundabout with it. I can kind of concur what it probably is. But that's what I want to know, because then that could help Chief and his team specifically enforce what that is. I don't know if the park hours do fix that or not.
I did send an email to the board of expressing what was going on and how it was going on. So you guys all received that email like last month before setting these in there.
Yeah, the original one.
The original one. And then having the chief, it gives a law enforcement, our local law enforcement, more teeth to sink into. So if there is an issue, they do have the right to go in there at 9:30 and say the park is closed if they see something going on or they suspect something going on. Obviously, it's the bulk of when kids are out and the park is being used, it's making sure that we have these hours set for us so that we can have something to enforce. The bulk of our use is during the summer hours when kids and people are out and about. And we just want to make sure that it's being used properly and we're being neighborly.
But if somebody has a bonfire going in a grill at 8:30 and it's damaging property, our officers can just as well go in at 8:30 or at 9:30. They don't need this law to enforce.
Right.
To your point and to Counselor Pardee's point, Chief, does this new law give you and your team, I know I'm repeating my question, any more teeth to enforce the law? Can you put that in the microphone again?
No.
Thank you.
And some of the residents, their complaints were just the one house just to the west of it. He built a very nice house, pays a decent amount of taxes for living in the town of Cicero. He came home one night and there's people from the park sitting around his fire pit while their kids are out fishing on his dock. And that's gone 3 doors down and it's, nighttime hours. So I think if you say, hey, we're going to keep this open till 9 o'clock, that could expand that potential, where people come in from other towns, to partake in that.
I think having set hours for visitors to know when our hours are would be beneficial for us.
Tony, I know that you sent an email, but that was just to the board. And I know that we've kind of gotten off track here and everybody's giving their different opinions. Can you just clarify again the key points as to why you want this to happen and who it benefits, just so that we can kind of nail that down before we make our decision? Because there's just a lot of opinions flying around and they're very one-off. I would like to just give quick overview, big picture as to why you presented this in the first place. Just key points.
Yeah, the highlight of it is the fact that this will give us set hours that we can post, that when visitors are using our facilities, they know what the hours are. It's not vague of dusk to dawn and trying to enforce what that is. Obviously, we have a lot of users that are coming up using our facilities. It also allows us to say what they are and when they should be using the parks.
Thank you. Additional comments before we move on for the official motion and closing the hearing? All right, we'll be closing this public hearing at 6:26 PM. Making a motion, move for the adoption of the proposed action to adopt local law number 2 of 2026 to approve an amendment to chapter 152 of the town code relating to the setting park hours for all parks to be 5 AM to 9 PM. It is an unlisted action for the purpose of secure compliance. The proposed action will not have a negative impact on the environment and does not require preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. Do we have a second?
Second.
I'd
Okay.
like to call a roll call vote, please.
Okay, so we've had our discussion. We will call for a roll call vote.
Counselor Hogan,
Yes.
Counselor Daniel,
Nay.
Counselor Bacallo,
No, for the reasons I stated during discussion.
Counselor Pardee,
No.
and Supervisor Santucci.
Yes. So the motion does not carry. All right. We'll move on. Public hearing. I'm sorry. So we approved, that was a motion for seeker. Now we've got to approve the actual
We
local law.
denied the seeker.
Okay, so now we have to vote on the law. I apologize on that. Okay. Make sure I get the right one because it's on 2 pages.
The decision right after.
Okay, that's the proposed changes to public hearing regarding park hours. Thank you. All right, I made the motion, move for the adoption of a resolution to consider an amendment to chapter 152 of the town code relating to setting park hours for all parks as follows. Seasonal park operating hours. All parks will operate under the seasonal hours during peak season, defined at the period from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Peak season hours. All parks shall be open from 5 AM to 9 PM daily. Non-peak season hours. Outside of the peak season, park hours shall remain as currently established, opening 1/2 hour before dawn and closing 1/2 hour before dusk. Local law enforcement has the discretion in determining to when and to how to enforce these operating hours in accordance with applicable laws and circumstances to be known as local law number 2 of 2026. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, and any additional board comments?
Roll call vote again.
Okay, we'll
Okay.
call for roll
Thank
call
you.
vote.
Counselor Hogan,
Yes.
Counselor Daniel,
Nay.
Counselor Bacallo,
No, and again, for the reasons I stated during discussion.
Counselor Pardee,
No.
Supervisor Santucci.
Yes. The motion does not carry. All right, we're moving on. I'm going to move to waive the reading of the legal notice, which had been posted and advertised at the proper time.
So moved.
Okay, calling for a voice vote for this. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, I'm going to ask if Alex Ryan would like to speak regarding this public hearing, which we're going to open at 6:30 PM.
Alex with the Cicero Senior Center. This is just for what we had talked about last meeting, which is for me to move forward with a grant for next year's budget through community development. It's a matching grant. So the county gives us 50,000 and the town provides 12,500. This one is for the driveway, some furnaces and AC units that are quite old, lighting enhancements and hot water heaters that are quite old. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to ask if anyone would like to speak in favor, for, or against. Any board comments?
Where was this grant? Did you seek this out or did they find you?
This is a continuous grant through the county. So, and because we serve seniors, it's something that we can get every year. So it's just something the county does every year.
Do you have to reapply every year?
I do with specific projects and they have to match certain criteria. So.
And who does that? You?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Additional comments? I could close the public hearing if we have any additional comments. I'll close the public hearing at 6:31 PM. Move for the adoption of a resolution to declare the improvements at the senior center being funded by the 2026-27 Community Development Block Grant to be a Type 2 action for the purpose of secure compliance. The project will have no adverse impact on the environment. The project will be resealing and stripping the parking lots, upgrading the HVAC systems, upgrading hot water heaters, and providing indoor lighting enhancements. Do we have a second? Thank you. Board comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move for the adoption of a resolution to support and accept the 2026-27 Community Development Grant application for enhancements to the Cicero Senior Center. The project will be resealing and striping the parking lots, upgrading the HVAC systems, upgrading hot water heaters, and providing indoor lighting enhancements. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have board comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is adopted.
Planned Unit Development, TR Owner LLC, Brewerton Road and Melcher Court, Cicero Community Campus, tax map number 092.01-03.5. Do you want to have them speak?
Yeah, we're going to have a presentation on this, and then we'll make the move for adoption.
Good evening. My name is Ed Martin. I'm a licensed engineer with Passero Associates with our headquarters located at 242 West Main Street in Rochester. With me tonight also is Mark Palat of Dakota Partners, representative of the applicant. Got an exciting project to bring before you. We're in the very early stages of what is part of a larger PUD that this town has approved in the past. It's part of a larger plan. We're dealing with 7.4 acres at the northeastern limits of this at Metzler Road, just north of here. We've got 68 units proposed on that 7.4 acres. Road frontage is available there. So no new curb cuts to the county road. Stormwater is going to be handled at the western limits of that. Probably want to show the other rendering. So we're coming to you very early in the design phase, asking that you establish yourself as lead agency for the purpose of seeker, and to refer us to the planning board where we can dive into some more of the planning issues. I'm sure you're going to want their feedback on that. So with that, I or Mark would be happy to answer any questions you have at this time.
I was able to see some of the plans in advance, so I really don't have any questions at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's too early for me to ask questions. I'll let it work its way through the planning board and we'll see you again. And
Great.
then I'll probably have lots of questions.
Look forward to it.
Anything else? All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming here. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It is, yeah.
Move for the adoption of a resolution that the town board of the town of Cicero hereby assumes the role of lead agency pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. With respect to the application submitted by TR Owner LLC for a planned unit development PUD located at Burton Road, Meltzer Court, within the Cicero Community Commons, PUD tax map number 092.01-03.5. The proposed project involves the development of an apartment complex consisting of 68 unit apartment buildings and an associated clubhouse.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any board comments on this in the early stages or not? I'll call for a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Parks and Recreation, finish mowing deck with vacuum. Move for the adoption of resolution for a 72-inch finish mower deck with vacuum collection system and a canopy for $14,364.80. Budget code number 001-711-022-00000. Mowing equipment.
Second.
Okay, any board comments on this?
Just how will it be? Is it for the maintenance of the parks or
It's more of the maintenance of the infields and ball fields.
is it
With-
specialized for that? Okay.
So what it does is it allows us to cut the grass and pick up the grass clippings so that we're not leaving hay when the grass gets high.
Great.
Leads to bad hops.
Any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions, the motion carries.
I apologize for pronouncing names wrong ahead of time. Hiring park laborer and beach monitor positions. Move for the adoption of resolution to hire the following. Colin DeBajian, park laborer, $19 an hour, start date 5/1/2026, account number 001-7110-0105-0000. Kyle DeBajian, park laborer, $18 an hour, start date 5/1/2026, account number 001-710-0105-0000. Taylor Rudder, beach monitor, $17 an hour, start date 5/1/2026. And then the account number is 001-7150-0105-0000. Jesse Solier, beach monitor, $17.25, start date 5/1/2026. The account number is 001-7150-0105-0000. You'd think I'd memorize that by now. Julian Howell, beach monitor, $16 an hour, start date 5/1/2026. The account number is 001-7150-0105-0000. Hagen Darby, beach monitor, $16 an hour, start date 5/1/2026. Account number 001-7150-0105-0000. And Nolan Zinsmeyer, beach monitor, $16 an hour, start date 5/1/2026. Account number 001-7150-0105-0000.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Board comments on hiring of the laborers for the summer.
I'm happy to see we have so many candidates here. Did you fill all the positions? Or are you still hunting?
We're still hunting for a summer playground program.
Awesome. Well, great. This is good.
Beach monitors, are they lifeguard trained, or what kind of training do the beach monitors have?
No, they'll just go through regular staff training as what we expect for cleanup and closing each night. But they're basically to welcome people using the pavilions, overseeing, make sure that everything is running smooth.
Additional comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution that the town board accepts $627.68 from Ed and Ed Business Technology for the Pitney Bose postage machine lease buyout for May 16th, 2026 through July 16th, 2026, and replaces the Pitney Bowes postage machine effective May 16th, 2026. Previously approved April 8th, 2026. Budget code 001-1670-4000-0000.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Board comments? Need it.
Looks good.
Right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve Seneca Stone County Contract Number 5770 for the paver equipment rental with operators for paving town roads in the amount of $166,000. Budget code 003-511-4750-0000, capital paving contractual account.
Second.
Okay, additional comments from the board on this item? We have none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve Donegal Construction Corp. County Contract Number 5249 to mill grind town roads in the amount of $50,000. Budget code 003-5112-4750-0000. Same account, capital paving contractual.
Second.
Okay, board comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve Seneca Stone Corp. to mill, haul, tack, coat, and pave with 6-top hot mix asphalt, the above, using budget code 003-5112-4750-0000, capital paving contractual, in the estimated amount of $915,891.
I'll second with a little gusto from me.
Read that with a lot of lilt,
Yeah.
Counselor.
Yep.
All right.
Gotta make it fun.
Do we have a motion?
And I should say, this is, so the East Circle frontage Hogan portion is 302,218, and Lake Shores to South Bay to Route 31, that's estimated to be 613,673.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any additional board comments? I would ask for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve Cicero Property Maintenance LLC for 2026 lawn maintenance budgeted at the Highway Department in the amount of $6,500. Budget code 003-5132-4000-0000, garage contractual.
Can I make a comment for this one, please? For the last 5 years, we've used AAA. They come in with 4 people. They do the lawn in 2.5, 3 hours. 2 are weed eating, 2 are mowing, and they do a fabulous job. These last 2 quotes I got, it's a single person coming in to do the entire lawn, weeding, everything. If the job they're not doing isn't satisfactory, can we go back and rebid it, or can we go back to AAA? I'm just concerned, the lawn has always looked pristine over there.
So
I'm worried about just one person coming in and spending the entire day there.
I guess I don't know the background here. Why are we changing? Is it just this is the lowest bid?
About $1,000 difference.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I mean, and we're always open to rebidding. And if you don't like, in my opinion, just speaking for myself, if you don't like the job that's being done and we have something to compare it to, I think that's open for discussion.
Maybe he may do a good job, but you're looking at 4 people versus.
For
one.
sure, that makes sense.
Because, 6 acres of lawn there.
Yeah, I've seen Cicero do work, but it's always been residential homes.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, so Robert, do we have is there with the contract, a way out if
they're
or
not
look-
doing the job,
Yeah.
we can
What's-
always,
Well,
What's the contract for now currently that you're signing?
It's for mowing and weed eating.
But for how long?
From from May 1 to September 30th.
Okay.
is there anything in the contract that gives us the right, or if it's not satisfactory, that we can pull out from it?
I don't know what's in the contract.
Yeah.
Are you asking that we could cut it mid-season? Or are you saying if we don't like it this season, then we go back the next time?
It's season, I would think.
Mid-season, okay.
To break the
I
contract.
think that's,
basically.
yeah, so I think I think that's more of a question with the contract of who you're signing with than us,
Yeah, there's gotta be-
in my opinion.
There's got to be language in that
Yeah.
contract. Because I know we had that with a plow contractor this winter that was,
Should we table this until we see that contract, or at least have Robert take a look at that contract, maybe add a caveat?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we do that?
But just in general, if someone isn't holding up their end of a contract, then we can take legal action.
But that's
Agreed, but
up
maybe
to
it should be something that you take a look at, just look at the contract before we
Yeah.
approve it, so that way we're protected.
You know,
Do you agree with that, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that too, because I mean, everybody can say this is, 5 people could say this looks good, 5 people could say this doesn't, so it's an opinion. There should be some language that we have the option at our discretion.
So we're in agreement that we're going to pull this from a motion today and revisit. Okay.
Before we move on, though, I'm just going to ask what potentially is a very ignorant question, but I'm new here. Why don't we just do it ourselves?
We don't have the staff to do it. I mean, you see, we're gonna be doing a lot of road work this year.
Right. Can parks do it, or is there rules against that?
They're busy. They're very.
They're busy too?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay, so we're going to table that for the future.
Oh, it's still me.
We can
I
do the
zoned
rest
out
of the
there.
way.
So the other quotes went with that, right? So we can move on to move for the adoption of a resolution to approve Steel Sales, Inc. State Contract Number PC 70694 for various size plastic drainage pipe in the amount of $20,000. Budget code 003-5110-4554-0000 Typar pipe.
Do we have a second? Thank you. Board comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve Crossroads Highway State Contract Number PC 70694 for various size metal drainage pipe, couplers, etc. in the amount of $20,000, budget code 003-5110-4554-0000 Typar pipe.
Second.
Board comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to accept the 284 agreement for the expenditure of the highway funds for 2026 as presented below. And I don't have to read the rest.
I will second, and then I will say, if Chris could just give, and there's a lot of good roads on here, if you could just give an update on, just an overview on what you plan to do. Is that
Yeah.
cool with everybody else?
Yeah.
We'll be milling and overlaying all the town roads except for the ones at East Circle and Lake Shore Road. And the Seneca Stone will be doing everything else on their own. We won't have to do it. We may haul a little bit for them, but that'll reflect in it.
Excellent. And so we're going to, between those, what Seneca does and what we do, 11.25 miles. So that's really nice.
Yeah. Normally we do Goodyear 6,
Okay,
7.
great.
Torchwood, Monitor, Roller Coaster, those are roads that people have been asking about for a while. Yeah, so excited about those, right?
Okay, do you have any, I'm gonna let you have a motion first before we get into additional. We have a motion on this. No seconds?
I did.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
thank you, thank you.
Sorry, yep.
Okay, additional comments? 11.25 miles, so better roads for our town. Okay, additional comments?
Yes, actually, that's the most we've done. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, any additional comments? Then we will ask for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion is adopted.
Thank you very much.
Can I just ask a quick question? Sorry, I probably should have already done this. Is this going to be, are the residents going to be notified of this? Okay. How?
We
Sorry.
know to put flyers on their door.
Okay,
We can't put it in their mailboxes.
right. How far in advance?
Usually we'll do it about 2 weeks in advance before we
Okay.
start.
Tracy, is there any way that we can kind of notify, there's so many roads and affects so many residents? Is there any way that we can put out some kind of a notification just in general? I think it's an exciting thing that we should be announcing anyway. I don't know.
maybe if there's a schedule, if we posted it on the town Facebook page or
Town
something.
website, town
Website.
Facebook, but yeah, we can do both those on social media.
Chris,
Next door.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I know where you're going with this. There's not always I mean, there's a schedule, but it's not always a hard schedule, just in case you run into thing.
Weather breakdown.
No dates of starting for the announcement. That's not,
Okay.
that's on you with the flyer. I'm just saying, like, this season, this is gonna happen, that kind of thing.
Probably for East Circle.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Message boards out.
Yeah, we could do it like an exciting thing, like guess what's coming kind of thing, not confirmed dates. No,
Yes.
I don't think
no
we've
better
ever,
than that.
I don't think we've ever done that in the past. Like,
I
we
think
just
it's a
do it,
good idea
notify.
because
Yeah,
this is,
yep, Yep,
you know.
with that.
it's a good thing.
Great
Yep.
thought.
We've been stepping up our communication to the residents, and this is just another way to do it. Let them know what's going on. So,
It's a good thing too, because if someone's gonna be getting their driveway done, get it done before you do the road.
I was actually asked about that. Yeah.
okay. All right. So any other, we've already passed this. So now we're going to go into discussion. Anything from the town board that we would like to put out there?
Go ahead.
Have we heard anything on, anything with paving on Route 11? This section out here? From the state? No? Maybe it's something, Rob, you could reach out to the state, and look into that?
Absolutely.
That's a disaster. I like what we're doing, getting rid of those concrete gutters.
That's who you talk
Well, like,
to. People love them, some people hate them.
I mean, I walk every day and I see them humped up, and, you know, you got these kids flying around on e-bikes, which is another thing. You know, one of them hits one of them, they're gonna go over the handlebars, they're gonna get hurt. So I think it's a good thing that we're getting rid of those. But, that's another thing that I would just want to touch base on with the e-bikes. I mean, we're seeing a lot of e-bikes out there. There's laws. And that's another thing that I would maybe ask the supervisor to put out there as well. So the parents can see, you know, what the law is with the e-bikes to risk getting their kids in trouble.
Chief, do you want to make any comments on this? Chief and I have been talking about this during the day,
I
so
saw it
we
today.
teed him up for
Reading
this
our
one.
minds.
So, this is not just a Cicero thing, obviously. This is a nationwide issue with these e-bikes. I sent the supervisor a message today to put out on the town site. We put it out on our website, just to remind, you know, the residents of Cicero that, you know, the age limit, because to be honest with you, a lot of these kids that we're catching on e-bikes are under 16 years old and are not supposed to be riding them. We're doing education and we will be doing enforcement. We're trying to share the message with the parents, and sometimes they're receptive, sometimes they're not. That, you know, we would rather give them the phone call that it's not like we're looking for them. They present themselves while they're riding these things to draw their attention to us or other residents or other motorists, the way they're operating these things. So then when we locate them and they stop, we contact the parents and we're explaining to your parents that, you know, your son or daughter was riding an e-bike in this fashion. These are the laws, which I gave to the town board today, and that we would rather be giving you this type of phone call than another type of phone call or us showing up at your front door with our police chaplain, because there's just way too much of that happening in the country right now, where police are going to families with their chaplains to notify them that their kids are being killed on these e-bikes. So we're trying to share that message also, that we're using education and then enforcement, and we're asking that the parents help us keep the community safe.
Yeah, and I mean, an e-bike, some of these, it's like a Corvette, you know. Do you drive a Corvette wide open all the time? No. And when you're going through a school zone at 25 miles an hour and you're getting passed on the left-hand side of your vehicle by 3 e-bikes doing 40 miles an hour, you know, that draws attention. And that's the whole purpose, I believe, that we're trying to do, is to make sure that everything is safe out there, and not knowing, we don't have to, the chief and his staff don't have to make those, you know, door knocks.
With the same topic of e-bikes, it's those scooters too. And I've been noticing a lot lately because the weather has been nicer, which is great for everybody. After the sun has gone down, it's really dark.
Can't see them.
You can't see them, right? So if again, maybe it's for discussion, maybe with chief. I don't want to add anything, but
So again, these
what you said today,
e-bikes,
I don't think it had lights on it. from the state.
These e-bikes have to follow, the only laws they have to follow are the bicycle law.
Yeah.
So I know the town board is getting a lot of phone calls. We get a lot of phone calls, but this starts at the state level.
Yeah.
And, I suggest that our residents, reach out to your assemblymen, your senators, because it really needs to start at the state level to help us with the laws for these e-bikes. And there is some chatter, there is some progress going on, but it's pretty slow.
And the e-bikes probably aren't the problem. It's the e-dirt bikes. They're not really a bicycle. They're a dirt bike, electric dirt bike.
Chief, I think town municipalities have the power to set local law. Would that be of any help, or because right over there is Clay, it's really kind of useless for all this patchwork?
I did send the supervisor today a local law that the city has. That was more for dirt bikes, and ATVs that are ripping around on the roads. But you can use that for e-bikes also. So yeah, I would encourage some type of local law, and I know the supervisor is going to be looking at it. So as a town board, I think it's something we should look at too. And also maybe a redemption fee. So if we do have to tow these things, it would be a deterrent for the parent. That I know the city of Syracuse is $2,000. I'm not saying ours is 2,500 or whatever we agree, but maybe some type of deterrence that if we do have to tow a dirt bike, a motorcycle, an e-bike, that there's going to be a little bit of there might not be a traffic ticket involved, but it might be some type of redemption fee.
Great, thanks, Chief. Yeah, I think that's something we should be looking at as a board.
Yep.
Lights.
We will definitely be doing that. Yep, it's a problem, and it's not just here, it's everywhere, but we will certainly be looking into that. Okay, any other discussion from the board?
Was that something that we could add? Sorry, Mike.
Okay.
Like make it our local law that they have to add lights to the e-bike? Is that something that we could
believe we
do?
have the power to do so.
Yeah, I think that's within our,
I mean, and then if you could kind of think of a couple other things like that, so that way we could just do it all at once to make them safer, things that we can do to make it our local Cicero law that they have to do.
yeah, definitely we need your expertise on how to.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay, additional discussion?
Yeah, to Steve and Kate, no hard date. How are we doing with the codes revamp?
At the last, anything we're making significant progress tomorrow, and then we'll know better tomorrow. We'll know better tomorrow when we're going to be able to complete the rest of it, but hopefully in the next couple of months.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Anything else from the board? All right, at this point, I'd like to have public input. Speakers have up to 3 minutes if they'd like to comment on anything before we close our meeting. State your name and your address.
My name is Nick Agrippino. I actually reside in the town of Manlius. So let me introduce myself real quick. So I chair the policy committee at the Cannabis Association in New York. We do a lot of state lobbying and stuff to make sure rules and regulations are good for the cannabis industry here. Also, a CPA works with a wide array of businesses, dispensaries, supply chain. And I also operate the dispensary in the town of Manlius. Quick kind of like backstory, and I'll get into like why. So in Manlius, they opted into cannabis sales. In 2023, we were able to do like a temporary grower showcase is what it was called. It was a program to kind of boost dispensary sales in New York State because the license rollout was a little bit slow, right? That was like a great segue into, the full dispensary. The town was able to kind of take feedback from the community. People were able to see kind of how a dispensary operates, what's going on. A lot of the kind of concerns kind of with folks kind of tend to get like alleviated a lot. We see, when they kind of see of what a dispensary actually is. And then, kind of be able to like craft zoning laws and stuff around that, right? With kind of the experience from that. The reason I bring that up is because there's also, I don't know if there's been any like recent discussions. My good friend Mike back there, he told me that, last time he brought this up, seemed like you guys were maybe open to it, but maybe wanted to hear a little bit from like other municipalities, how things are going, and sort of see how things work. And the reason I wanted to bring up the Grower Showcase program from 2023 is we got some really exciting news. A couple weeks ago, the OCM approved what's called event permits for cannabis, right? So it's a little bit different than the program that happened in 2023, but there are a lot of similarities to it. And one of the ideas that we kind of brought to the state and they listened to us was, hey, we want to be able to, with municipality approval, do a temporary event permit inside of opt-out towns. As long as there's town approval, they're going to approve, how it's going to work, hours, all that jazz, right? And the reason for this is we're hitting kind of a segue in, there's about 600 dispensaries across the state, right? We're sort of hitting that mission critical where, a lot of these dispensary locations are starting to pop up really close proximity to each other, right? So what we kind of need to, full market maturity is more like 2,000, 2,500 dispensaries across the state, depends on who you ask. But right, so we're kind of hitting this point where, in order to, support our growers, support our processors, right? And get these, stores open, we need more places to sell, right? Without sort of cannibalizing these sales in like these little micro pockets, right? Like we're kind of starting to see that a little bit like on Erie Boulevard, right? There's a lot of them, right? Where it's borderline becoming an unhealthy operating environment, right? And it's an access issue, right? At the end of the day. So I think it's a great opportunity for like towns like Cicero and, a lot of these, outside suburban towns and stuff to be able to try something and then have a comfort level with it, but not be stuck with the full opt-in, right? So you don't have to opt in to potentially do this program. And I think it's really what the state needs to, because, at the end of the day, we're going to need municipalities like Cicero and other places to opt in to, keep this kind of a sustainable market, support our growers, processors and all that. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up, give a little bit about myself and also too, if offer up, if the town board ever has any questions, we have 1,022 pages of regulations. So there's a lot to it. Not everything you guys have to worry about, but it's very complex and stuff. So if there's any questions, happy to make myself.
We can get your information before you leave and then
Yeah.
go from there. So,
Absolutely.
okay. Anybody else on public comment before we close this meeting? All right. We have a motion to close our meeting. Anybody?
Second.
I'm calling for a voice vote for the meeting to be closed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion's adopted. The meeting is adjourned at 7:02 PM.